Hi everyone, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. I'm here with what I think is an amazing card tutorial today. I was really excited to get my new products for the Stampin' Up! 2020 and 2021 annual catalog this past week, and I've been dreaming up some amazing ways to use them. So today we are going to use this new Blossoms in Bloom bundle. We have the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set with the many layered blossoms die set. This is part of it. Here is the other part of it. You can layer these. You could cut this one out and layer it with this one on top, which would be gorgeous. But we're going to use this to make this beautiful card here, and we're going to use a Spritz stamping technique, which I love, that gives you a watercolor effect without actually watercoloring. So what we need for this, we need a Blackberry Bliss card base. We need a piece of shimmery white cardstock. That's this main piece on the front that measures 5 3/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And then we need a copper foil piece that we cut out with that flower overlay die. So I already have that prepared. I'm going to show you this. These centerpieces could pop out if I wanted them to, but I decided to leave them in there, and it was really easy to do with this foil paper because there's like a real thin plastic film on the back that sort of holds them in place. So I just thought I would mention that. I left those in place because I like them there as the centers of the flowers. So that is what we need. I used another piece of white on the inside of the card, and let's get started. So first thing, I am going to lay my cardstock right here on my Stamparatus. And I want to figure out the proper placement for this flower stamp that I'm going to use. So I'm going to lay my overlay on here. We're going to do this a few times to line up our placement. So I'm going to lay that on there where it fits. Now I am going to line up this stamp, which you can see has been well stained by my Blackberry Bliss ink, which stains everything. Line this stamp up where, you know, your overlay is still on your paper and the stamp lines up with the overlay. So this is how I'm going to line it up, get it attached to the plate here. Gently peel this off because it likes to stick to that stamp. And now we are ready to ink this. The three colors I used for the purple flowers are Highland Heather, Rich Razzleberry, and Blackberry Bliss. And I am going to ink the entire stamp with Highland Heather. Now I am going to use a sponge and some Rich Razzleberry and go in the center of each flower and just kind of, you don't just want to do one blot. I did one, and then I did some more gentle ones out a little bit farther to try to help that color blend in with that Highland Heather. So with this, I'm probably covering maybe half of the surface of those flowers. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of Blackberry Bliss and just do this right in the center. Love this color. It's going to add a lot of color variation to these flowers. Now we are going to do the Spritz part of this project, and I don't want to get water on any of this other stuff, so I'm going to cover this up with a piece of paper. I removed my cardstock piece that we're going to stamp on, and I am going to use my Stampin' Spritzer with some water and try to spritz over the surface of this stamp. Some of the surface will get more spritz than other areas, but we'll get that spritzed and bring in our cardstock. You can use your magnet if you like. A lot of times I don't even use mine. And give it a real good press, especially over here by this edge. Doesn't that look cool? I just love the look of this. This is a technique that it's been quite a while since I have done, but it just gives you beautiful results with not a lot of effort. So do a little cleanup here and remove this stamp. Now we will get set up to add the blue flowers. Bring that back in so you can see it. So next, we are going to bring the overlay piece back in. Like I said, you can use your magnet if you want. A lot of times I just do without, but... And see, now I put it in the wrong place. So here are the two small flower stamps. I need to figure out which one goes where and get them lined up. Again, I'm just doing this on top of that overlay piece. Once I have them lined up, we will pick them up like that. While I have it here, I am also going to line up the leaves for the next step. We will do the same thing with the leaves. So we have 3 leaf stamps, and in order to stamp all the leaves for this, we will do this twice. But I'll put that one there. And we'll have to split them up. The bigger oval leaf we'll put there, while I will put the smaller oval leaf over here. And then the second time around, we'll flip-flop those. Since they're too close, you won't be able to stamp both of those at the same time. So we'll pick up these stamps. Okay, so let's do these 2 little flowers here. The colors I used for these are Seaside Spray, is what I inked the entire stamp with. And then I used a little bit of Night of Navy in the center. And I am using a sponge dauber here. You have to be really careful not to get a big glob of dark ink on this. I'm going to show you this. I feel like on this one, it looks like I just had kind of a big sponge dauber right in the center of it. So I'm going to try and do it a little bit more gently this time. Got those inked. Bring in my paper. Do some spritzing. I'm doing better at aiming my spritzer today than I was yesterday. Got our beautiful blue flowers. I love the color variation with the purple and the blues. So we got that. Now we'll do our greens, our leaves up here. So I used Pear Pizzazz ink to ink those leaves. And then I used a little bit of Mossy Meadow on a sponge and added some of that to these. Scrap paper back in, do some spritzing. And get these guys stamped. Beautiful. Now we'll do that one more time. Oh, I forgot. I need to clean up this time because we have to move these stamps for their placement for the second time around. So I don't know who's excited about the new Stampin' Up catalog. I was so excited to get mine, or to be able to see it online. I'm still waiting for my copy to arrive in the mail, but it is amazing. There are so many amazing products in it, and the ideas that are in it, I just love. So any of you who purchased from my online store, you were on my list, and you should be getting one in the mail in a few weeks. If anybody wants to see it now before it goes live, anybody who signs up as a demonstrator, you could sign up on my Sassy Stamper team, and you are able to see the catalog now and start ordering products right now in your pre-order or in your starter kit even. So that is something to think about. Ordering will go live for all of the products in the new catalog, such as what I'm showing you today with this new bundle. Ordering goes live on June 3rd of 2020, so just a few weeks from now. Well, now I'm losing my marbles. I can't talk and work. I moved my stamps. So we'll line these back up one more time. Okay, now I'm going to ink these again with Pear Pizzazz, just like I did last time. Add a little bit of Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to judge how much I want to add by these. So I like how those turned out. I think I may make a couple of these, try to make them a little bit darker, just for a little bit more dramatic look with the more color variation. Bring our scrap paper in. Do some spritzing again. And if I'm lucky, this will be our last stamping. So there you go. There is that much of this card. And really, you could use this just the way it is. You could add some flower centers in there. And this could be absolutely beautiful just like that. But we're not done with what we're doing today. So at this point on this card, I used the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. This is a brand new one coming in the new annual catalog. And I just love it. It's just a nice basic pattern. And it's called Textile. I feel like it makes this look like a piece of beautifully printed linen or, you know, some kind of really pretty fabric. I feel like this card reminds me of like a grandmother's dress. And actually, it reminds me of my grandma Elias. She grew the most beautiful purple violets in her kitchen window. Nobody else can grow them like she did. And, yeah, it reminds me of my grandma, but so that textile embossing folder, I feel like just really makes it look like a piece of printed fabric. I am not going to emboss this right now. I'm going to save a minute and not do that step for this card. So you'll get to see the difference in what it looks like with the embossing and without. Now I'm going to use a little bit of crumb cake ink on my sponge and sponge around the edges. It was just way too white for my taste. I had to give it a little antique, little grunge look. So we'll just go around the edges real gently with this. I also did the same inking to the piece on the inside of the card. I added the crumb cake around the edges on it to make it match the front. You could stamp a few of these flowers, maybe a couple, the little ones, real small on the inside if you wanted to. That would look nice. So we'll go ahead and put this on the front of the card. And I debated which way was up and which way was down and how I wanted this oriented. So I think I do want it to lay this way. I'll just double check that before I put it on. Now for attaching this overlay. So if you wanted to do this the easy way where it's not quite as well attached down, you could probably just put some multi-purpose glue drops in the centers of these flowers, and that would be enough to hold all of this down. I will show you the more precise way of making sure it's going to stay held down. After you've gone to all of the work of making this beautiful card, you want to make sure everything stays put. So I'm going to get some of our multi-purpose glue here on my silicone craft sheet. I've got a sponge that I use for glue only. And I'm going to flip it over backwards with the foil side down. And I want to spread this glue out a little bit so that I get just a little bit on my sponge. And I'll go over the back gently. while you're doing this, you have to make sure this piece doesn't shift on you, that it doesn't move at all, because if it does, then you're going to end up with glue on the front side of your piece, and that is not what we want to happen. So get a nice coating of glue over the back of that. And now we just have to do our best to line this up. It doesn't line up precisely, and I like that because of, you know, putting the different stamps in and them not being in the exact placement where the die is. They're not going to be precise, and I really like that look. So you can decide if you like it that way, or if you want to make sure it is precise when you do it, when you line up those stamps. I have this greeting prepared, which came from this stamp set, the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. I have to learn all these names. I don't know them yet. So I already have the greeting prepared. I'll add a little bit of glue to the back. If my glue wants to cooperate. We'll try this glue. That's why you always have a backup. There we go. My husband was watching me make this card last night. He was giving me input. He told me I needed to put the greeting right up here, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I can do that. I think on this one I am going to put it down here though. So for this greeting, I stamped it in Blackberry Bliss. I did do some of the sponging on that. I told my husband, I said, that's just too white. I'm going to have to sponge that where the greeting is. And he's like, oh yeah, it's definitely too white. And I thought he was making fun of me. And then I found out that he really thought that it was too white. I was like, wow, I need to have you help me with cards more often. Now we are down to one last step. We're just going to add a few pearls, because any pretty delicate project like this needs a few pearls, in my opinion. So I hope you like this today. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Check out my website, scrappingstampingandstuff.com. I post ideas all the time. I would love to have you join in, get my updates, follow me on social media. I make all these videos in my Facebook group, make them live, so I'd love to have you join in with my Facebook group. But contact me, comment, like, share. I love to teach people how to stamp, and it's a lot more fun when we have more people following along. So I believe this will be my last pearl. I hope you liked today's card. Remember, ordering for these products begins on June 3rd, 2020. There's a link on my website. There's going to be a link here on the YouTube description to get to my website and then to my online store, and you can order these amazing products. I will show them to you one more time. The stamp set is called Blossoms in Bloom, and this die set is once again called Many Layered Blossoms. So you can get them together as a set for 10% off, or you can get just one or the other for their regular prices. So thanks for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful day.